Nadia, are you going to start by introducing or sharing your story?
Yeah, I will go for myself. Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nadia. This is my name sign. My Instagram is the AquaMystic. Hello. So I just wanted to introduce myself and say thank you to all for coming tonight to our webinar. I'm really grateful for your support and look forward to learning about the science of the water with us. I want to have a huge thank you for you being here with our host, Jen, and Victory, our interpreter. We're hoping that everyone learned something new today.
Nadia, you want to share your story?
After you share your journey, then.
Okay. All right. Well, hi, friends. Again, thanks for being here. I'm excited to host. This is like my third one, second time doing this. And it's super exciting. Like you can see the science of the water, like literally only 99% of the world does not know about this. So it's very new. And like Nadia said, I hope you learned something new today about water. And it just kind of takes you on that journey of health and the magic and power of water. So, my name is Jennifer Ketty. My Instagram is at Genuine Waters. You can follow me. I share a lot about water. And my journey with the water started back in 2016. I had a friend and he asked me if I wanted to try this water. I drank a gallon, and after that gallon, I started to detox pretty heavy. And at the time, I was extremely young. I was a professional athlete. And I laughed at him and I was like, yeah, this water is for old, sick people. I don't need it. And a year and a half later, in December of 2017, I'm in the middle of playing professional volleyball in Germany. And in the middle of my season, I am diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And no family history, no cancer gene in my body, and I'm I'm just basically like, yeah, on my deathbed, right? So I fly home to the United States and I go through surgery where they remove a tumor the size of a football from my right ovary, and I go through a very intense chemotherapy process for about 5 months. And those 5 months, I was doing chemo almost every single day, like 6 hours a day. And I had horrible side effects. I was in the emergency room multiple times. I was, I had blood clot issues. I had immune system issues. I had neuropathy so bad I could barely walk. I had migraines, vertigo, fatigue, you name it, I was dealing with it. And I still had ambitions to go play professional volleyball. So after I finished chemo, I have all these things going on. I go to my doctor and I say, hey, I'm struggling with neuropathy. I can't walk. Like my migraines are so bad. I can't like function as a human. I had blood clots, all the things that I had mentioned. I had brain fog. I don't know. Uh, Type in the chat me if you know what brain fog is. Um, Brain fog is basically like you forget. And I didn't know how to spell my ABCs. That's how bad the brain fog was. So I go to my doctor and I'm like, hey, like, I need help. I can't function like this. I'm 26 years old. And he basically told me, we can't really help you, but we can put you on meds for the rest of your life. And that just didn't sit well with me. I was 26 and I did not want to be on medication for the rest of my life. And I knew that there was a deeper issue going on. So I said no. And it was about I want to say a month and a half later that the water kind of popped into my head. And so I reached out to my friend who had had me try the water and I messaged him. I'm like, hey, tell me about the water. And I pretty much bought a machine right then because I was just on my deathbed and I didn't really have another choice. Um, the odds of my cancer coming back were about 76%, and the odds of survival from the chemotherapy itself at 5 years was 50%. So I just purchased a machine because I wanted to put myself first and I wanted to do anything in my power to live. And within about a week of drinking the water, all my side effects disappeared. And I was like shocked. And I went to my oncologist and I said, hey, this happened. So, and you said I was going to be on meds for the rest of my life. And he immediately shut me down. He didn't want to hear it. And from then, that was the moment that I knew that I had to share this water. Um, because there are what 1 in 2 people are diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. And how many people die from chemotherapy? How many people go through chemotherapy and are left with side effects for the rest of their lives? And I just knew that this was something that I needed to share with people. So, um, yeah, here we are, it's almost my 6 year anniversary from my surgery. And within 3 months of drinking the water, was off every single piece of medication. And within 5 months after chemo, I was back playing professional volleyball. And then today I literally do this for a living and I get to share the magic of water and I'm still playing professional volleyball. So it's been a huge gift for me and it's an absolute honor to not only be able to be drinking this every day, but to be sharing it with people. So, Nadia, do you want to share your story?
Okay, I pinned myself too. Perfect. Ooh, 1 second. Hello again. So this is my testimony. First, I was having a lot of brain fog and bloating. My period cramps were unbelievable. I was having depression and anxiety. Symptoms of PTSD were affecting my life. I didn't have a lot of motivation to really do anything. I used to go out to parties and drink and use cannabis. And I was just like a really dry person. And yeah, the brain fog was really shocking for me. I didn't know what to do with my health. My family wanted me to get help too. So then I found about the water and I started studying and learning. That's when it hit me and really changed my life. I had less brain fog. I could think more clearly. I was more motivated to do things. I had just energy for my life. I had much less period pain and cramps from menstruation. My acne went way down. It was like my acne was horrible, which also gave me a lower self esteem issue. So that really went down, as well as my need for drinking alcohol and smoking cannabis decreased. I felt more creative. I had way less anxiety and less depression. And really, I just started feeling more energetic. I didn't really have that before. So it really made such an impact on me and my mom's life too. My mom's visual vision improved so much. Her diabetic symptoms and blood pressure improved. And there's just so many different ways that I'm still seeing it. And that's just 1 year on the water. So I look forward to seeing more things pop up to positively impact us. And I'm really excited for this journey for myself with the water and to share it with you.
I love it. Thanks for sharing. Um, yeah, it's really cool to hear people's testimonies and I mean, water is like we literally are water. So it's really cool. Thank you for sharing that, Nadia. I didn't know that you've only had the machine for a year too. Congrats. All right, so let's get into the goods. So today, these are things that I'm going to go over. I'm going to talk about the importance of hydration, awareness of everyday problems, like things that are normalized in our society that really shouldn't be normal, or feel normal, potential solutions to different challenges, what we're drinking every day, different properties of water, science of hydration, cellular hydration, and the global community that we are currently a part of. So here I am. Again, this is my story. I was a professional athlete in December of 2017, and literally my life changed what felt like overnight. And I was extremely health conscious when I was a professional athlete. Like, what we put into our bodies is extremely important. And, to be able to perform at the highest level. And I was very health conscious. The only thing that I didn't think about was water. I would drink water out of a water hose if I had to. I just loved water. And like I said, I had tried the water. I believed it was for old, sick people. And of course, I'm quickly humbled a year and a half later after trying it. And the craziest thing was I have no family history of cancer, and I had no cancer gene in my body when they had found it. So fast forward, it was ovarian cancer, chemo for 5 months, the horrible side effects like I had mentioned. And this is me last December, about a year ago, actually today. And I won a professional volleyball tournament. And I'm not on a single piece of medication. I've been in remission for over 5 years. Like I said, I'm a professional athlete again. And this water has really changed my health in every sense of the word: mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and financial. It's been a huge gift for me. So here are some things that we don't really think about when it comes to water. Did you know that we don't absorb most of the water that we're drinking? So if you're drinking a bottle of water, you're absorbing about 15% of that water versus the water that I will mention, it's about 85%. Many of us mistake dehydration as hunger, mood swings, fatigue, and dehydration just at 2% can affect our brain function. Just water can be used in 100 different ways. 60% of the water that is in our bodies is in the cell, 40% is outside of the cell. The
One second.
front of our brain, the front of our brain gets energy from hydroelectricity, water. And water works as a universal solvent, a binder, an astringent, a cleaner, a toner, disinfectant. We will get into all of those, 100 different ways that we can use water. So some of the root causes of the problems, like I had mentioned, that we have normalized today are, like, why am I tired? Why don't I sleep well? Why am I always getting sick? Why am I stressed? Why am I maybe irritated? Or I know that we talked about anxiety. How come it's hard for why am I having gut issues? Why is it hard for me to digest? Why do I feel bloated? I think that's a big one. What is causing my brain fog? What's causing my allergies? And a lot of it stems from dehydration, acidosis, and oxidation, which we will get into all of those. So, is real water healthy? Or is water really healthy? I like to explain this as we think about food and we think about, nutritional value of food. They say eat whole foods, eat fruits, vegetables, meat, stuff like that. But we don't talk about that with water. And water is the same, where you can have processed water, and that means that processed water it means that the company has put this water through a bunch of different processes and chemical operations in order to change or preserve it. So, when we say dead water, that's essentially water that doesn't have an electrical charge. And again, we'll get into that. But things like tap water, bottled water, filtered water, those are all considered dead, processed, acidic waters. So Some stats for you too is over $19 billion is spent on purchasing bottled water. So not only is the cost huge, but also think about all of the plastic, which we get into as a hormone disruptor. 65% of bottled water is literally just tap water that's been purified and processed. And most water bottles aren't actually recycled. So not only are we spending billions a year on bottled water, but it's also where is all the plastic going? So here we are, our plastic bottles recycled. 30%, yes, gets downcycled. 70% is not getting recycled. And the thing about the 30% is sure, we might be recycling it and reusing it. Have you ever, like, for me, sometimes I'll grab a bottle of water and the plastic feels so thin. That's the recycled bottles that they're then reusing, and that plastic then leaches into the water. Because I don't know, like, if you guys know this, but water is literally the most powerful solvent on the planet. So whatever it's in, it's going to absorb. All right, let's talk about bottled alkaline water. So have you heard of bottled alkaline water, Riley? Just type yes in the chat if you have. Um, but yeah, so here's the thing about tap and bottled water. It's either acidic or you'll have bottled alkaline water like Essentia, which is chemically altered. And that's something that we're going to get into a little bit later. But basically, they're taking tap water, purified tap water, and then they're adding chemicals like baking soda into the water, and that's what's making it alkaline. If you're in the grocery store next time, take a look and flip the bottle around, and you'll see that there are ingredients in the water. Okay, so what about distilled and RO water? These are extremely popular. I know a lot of people who are spending tens of thousands of dollars to put reverse osmosis systems in their house. And this is a great filter. It's a great start to get contaminants out of the water. But there's such a bigger piece to water than we think about. Like, these are filters. They're literally removing everything from the water, making it empty and void of any mineral or any nutritional value. The water that's coming out is still acidic, it's inflammatory, it's still oxidizing or aging. It's harder to absorb, like I had mentioned, because it's big water. It steals electrons, which means it doesn't have any antioxidants. And then, there's only limited uses. So it's just water coming out of the filter. And it's also for Berkeys, like you can see in the corner there. It's a lot of maintenance and they're pretty inconvenient filters. So we'll get into these a little deeper in a second. But here is something, if you wanted to do this, you can take your zip code and go to ewg.org. You can type in where your city and it will pop up. It will show you everything that is in your water. And a lot of it on the website, it says, what is it? What does it say? Just because it's legal doesn't mean it's safe. That's literally on the website, which is really sad. So, and a lot of people, I don't know if they're not drinking tap water, um, but we're still using it in everyday things like cooking. People make their coffee with it. You're showering, you're bathing, you're washing your hands, you're rinsing produce, you're giving it to your plants and your pets, you're brushing your teeth. All of these things, the chemicals begin to add up. So this is a cool thing. If you want to, I don't know if you want to take a picture or whatnot, but this is a really cool thing to do. Check out your zip code. We can also send you the link. So here is one of the biggest issues with tap water is it's purified with chlorine. And a lot of people think, oh, chlorine, it's safe. We go swimming in it. You can have a little bit and it's not a big deal. Well, the cancer risk for people who drink chlorinated water is 93% higher. than those who do not drink water with chlorine. And like I said, some people don't drink tap water, so they think they're fine. You absorb 30 to 90% of the toxic substances that are in your water in the shower through your skin. So think about when you take a really hot shower and it all turns to steam and you're in there and breathing it in. So not only are your pores opening, exposing you to a higher risk of absorption, but you're also beginning to breathe in the steam, which is basically turned the chlorine into a toxic steam. And people don't think about that. But I think the stat is like you in a 15-minute shower, you're absorbing like a liter of water.
Oh, that's okay.
Sorry, sorry guys. I'm working. Um, so anyway, so showers are a big deal nowadays too. Like we don't think about it. And said it leads to greater exposure of toxic chemicals in the tap water than drinking does, which is insane. Like crazy. I know, Nadia, there's a video of Dr. Michael talking about the dangers of chlorine in tap water and how um, most of the thyroid issues and hormone issues people have nowadays is actually from showering in tap water. So just something we don't think about. But the dangers and risks of chlorine exposure are serious, and they include, when you open your eyes in a swimming pool and your eyes are just bright red, right? It can irritate sinuses, throat, skin. It's aggravating to the lungs. It's excessive free radical formation, which again is kind of what they told me caused my tumor. So that's kind of crazy. It hardens arteries. It makes it difficult to metabolize cholesterol, higher vulnerability to genetic mutation or issues, and development of cancer. This is our shower unit. And this is basically so it filters out 99.9% of chlorine. It filters out bacteria, and it basically turns your shower into a spa. And well, I won't spend too much time on this, but this completely changed my hair and my skin. I used to have really bad dry skin, like flaky, and I don't even use lotion anymore. Do you want me to play this video, Nadia?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
watch it.
I've never watched.
Does it have captions? And I can't hear it.
Oh, you can't. Maybe we can just watch. That's the filtered tap water. Pour it in, and he's going to basically test the chlorine in these waters. Okay, so here he goes. He's going to test to see how much chlorine is in this cup of water. As it turns yellow, that means there's chlorine present. So, so what he just showed us, he's going to show us now if there's chlorine in this water after he just had his hand in it. So as you can see, it's not turning yellow because the chlorine is all absorbed into his skin. So basically he's saying
Wow.
while he was testing this other glass for 10 seconds, he put his hand in the water and that's where the chlorine went. No, he's mentioning there's 80,000 unstudied and unregulated chemicals in our tap water. That's wild. I've never seen that. but that's how easy, so that's how easy it is. I mean, our skin is the largest organ on our body, and that's how easy it is for us to absorb things like, cleansers, lotions, toners, tap water, anything we're putting on our skin is being absorbed. So a few questions to ask is how can we improve our health? How can we help the planet now and for the future? How can we get rid of the plastics, the chemicals, the pesticides that we're using every single day? How can we save money? How can we save time? How can we save energy? And how can we enhance our wellness, vitality, and spirituality? This is the solution. This is the water that we have been talking about. It's called Kangen water, and it's by a company that's called Enagic. And Kangen in Japanese actually means return to origin. So, as we're sharing our testimonies earlier, we're talking about what the water has done for us. And how I like to explain it is when you start drinking the water, it's literally returning your body to its original state of optimal, like proper function. And this is a medical disclaimer, like we're not saying the water healed us. Like I said, it's just when you start drinking water, because we are 70% water, it's going to start replacing the water that we've been drinking for years, right? So the things that we have normalized are now being pushed out of our bodies as we start to replace the water that's there with this water, this medical grade water, essentially. So no medical claims, just basically sharing our testimonies of what happened to our body when we changed our water. So this is what I call the big three. These are the three components of the water that essentially are the reason it does what it does. So first would be the superior hydration. It's microclustered structured water. The second is antioxidants. It's hydrogen rich. It's electrolyzed reduced water, or ERW. And third is it's alkalized. So it's alkalized, the benefits to the human cells, and it's the pH. And I'll break all of these down more and share some cool videos too. So to start, we'll talk about small water, and this is where the superior hydration comes from, and it's why it's called electrolytically reduced water, because it's turning from big water to small water. And to explain it, in regular water, it's about 15 to 20 molecules, and it's hard for our bodies to absorb, which, if you're picturing it, think about trying to throw a softball through a fence, through a chain link fence. And obviously, if you're throwing these balls, they're not going to get through, right? That's big water, and that's basically how it's hydrating us versus Kangen water, which is small water. It's 5 to 6 molecules, and it's actually able to be absorbed through our cellular wall and start to help us detox. So think of it as, take pebbles and try to throw pebbles through a chain link fence. Well, those are actually going to get through, right? So, and that's where the superior hydration comes from, the cellular hydration, the ability to detox and actually feel hydrated. So remember when I said if you're drinking regular water, you're absorbing about 15%? That's big water versus Kangen, which is you're going to absorb 85%. So if you've ever drank a lot of water at one time and felt super bloated or like nauseous, you can like feel it moving in your stomach, that's big water. All right, so this is kind of a bigger picture. So on the right, you'll see that's the big water, regular H2O. They look like softballs. They're huge. So this is where the poor hydration comes from, the lack of absorption. And on the left here, you'll see the structured water. They look like pebbles, and it's actually able to get through that small opening in our cells to pull out and detox. All right, so this breaks it down a little more, and I won't get too much into it because it's a little sciencey. Basically, we have something called an aquaporin in our cells, which is the small opening, which is where the water and everything is basically absorbed into. So, like I said, if it's not small enough to get in, we're not going to absorb it. And essentially, you're just going to end up peeing it out, which is why they say America has the most expensive pee, because if you think about all the things that we take every day, especially for me as an athlete, it's vitamins, it's supplements, it's minerals. And if I'm drinking it with big water, I'm not actually going to be absorbing it. So you're kind of just you're just peeing it down the drain. You're throwing money down the drain. And this is super important too, because water is actually the transportation, like blood is the transportation system of our bodies. So if our blood is composed of big water, or we're drinking big water and it's not able to kind of mesh, we're not going to absorb things, and we're also going to get stuck. You know, things are going to build up in our bodies, and we're not going to have a proper way to detox, and that's when bad things happen. So, boop. All right. Getting into the second component of the water, and this was big for me because when I did the genetic testing and I didn't have a cancer gene, they told me it's from free radicals. And I was like, what are free radicals? Well, I did some research because I was obviously interested. And free radicals are basically stealing electrons from your cells because they don't have any. So they go around your body and they're going to different cells and they're trying to get an electron from the other cells to satisfy themselves. And then eventually they're just basically causing chaos and damage throughout your body. So if you aren't, you know, putting antioxidants back in, then what's going to happen? It's just going to be a buildup of free radicals. And these are some of the things too that like we don't think about causes free radicals in our body, which is essentially like air pollution, like the air we're breathing. We're constantly bombarded, using a computer or a phone that causes oxidation or free radicals. I mean, there's so many things nowadays, it's almost impossible to escape it. So doing what we can to keep free radicals from going crazy, that's a big part of this water. So here is a really great illustration of what oxidation does to our body. So think about when you cut an apple in half or you leave produce out, it begins to rot, right? That's essentially the oxidation process or the process of free radicals. Any sort of rusting process is free radicals. And, causes over here. I don't know if you, do any of these, but like for me, even excessive like exercise causes free radicals. So if we are not replenishing our bodies over time, it's going to cause issues. Like for athletes, I know arthritis, injuries, muscle tears. Those are all big issues in sports. And then, of course, everyone uses a phone every single day. It's crazy. So then we get into the second component, which was the antioxidants. So Riley, have you heard of molecular hydrogen? This is like something that's becoming more and more popular. Hydrogen is actually the strongest antioxidant known to man. It liquidates free radicals. It's kind of what we're putting back into our bodies. Antioxidants are they're the ones that are fighting free radicals within our bodies. It flushes, oh, I can't see that. Let me see, let me move this. Sorry, guys. Flushes acidic metabolites, it's bioavailable, which means it goes where it's needed the most, and it's anti-inflammatory. So then here we are. This is a chart of, I don't know if y'all can see that, but this is a chart of basically explaining free radicals. So something we talk about with the water, it's called ORP, which is oxidation reduction potential. And if you think about it, oxidation, like we said, it's the aging process, the rusting process, the rotting process. That's bad for your health. That's aging. A negative ORP would be it's antioxidant, it's good for health, and it's fighting the free radicals. So on the chart here, you'll see soda is obvious. It's going to be like a positive 400. Go down to Kangen water, and you can get up to an ORP of minus 760, which means essentially you're drinking 3 pounds of blueberries. And here is a quick video that basically illustrates it a little better. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it, Victoria. Let me know if you can hear it, Victory.
Try to click the closed caption button, the little CC at the bottom.
Can you hear it?
No.
Okay, so
But
basically
can you try to click the closed caption?
I don't know. You know what I think it's because I'm on my headphones.
Well, regardless, it's better if the closed captions are on.
Oh, closed captions.
Yeah,
Where
at
are
the bottom
those?
of the video, you see the play button?
Yeah.
Yeah. Underneath, right next to that, there's the CC in a little box.
Oh, cute.
Perfect. Start that
Perfect.
over.
Yes.
Whee! I still can't hear it. So if you want to explain it, you can.
A minus. So if you notice, everything other than Kangen was a positive number. So even just straight bottled water was still a positive number, which means it's essentially aging us. So let's get into the third aspect of the water, which is alkalinity, right? So I don't know if you're familiar with the pH scale, but this is the pH scale, 0 being the most acidic. It's going to be super, super red. And then all the way to 14, which is super alkaline, purple, like a deep, pretty purple. So on the left, when it's something that's acidic, you're going to have low voltage. So no charge, which is essentially the positive ORP, versus the alkaline, which is going to be high voltage, and it's going to be the antioxidant abundant. Full battery or empty battery? Okay. So let me move this over here. Sorry. What creates acid in the body? Processed food, cooked, fried, baked foods, sugar, drugs, medications, wine, alcohol, coffee. I love coffee, however. So coffee, tea, meat, dairy, other things that we're eating. And then also like even the thoughts that we're thinking can cause like acidity in our bodies. And then of course for athletes, weightlifting, that causes acidic buildup, exercising, like all of the things that you have to do as an athlete, it's basically creating acid in the body. lactic acid. That's a huge one. So here is the alkaline scam that we were talking about earlier. On the left, again, here's Essentia, and this is the back of an Essentia water bottle. So as you can see, it's full of ingredients. Calcium chloride, that just doesn't even sound good. So the differences here is one's chemical and one's electrical. So the chemical change, that's where it's fake alkaline water, where they take purified water and then they add the ingredients in to change the pH. This is chemically altered, it's unnatural, it's not good for us. And when you drink this every single day, it's going to just build and build and build, and eventually it's going to cause problems. And then on the right, this is the Kangen machine. Okay, so this is what we were talking about as far as the electrical change. This is how the water is structured. It's how it's antioxidant abundant and it's how it's alkaline. It's a natural process. Like, I don't know if you know, like you've heard of grounding. This is a natural process that the earth actually does. So if you go outside and you stand on raw ground, you'll receive ions from the earth. And that's how it also charges like natural springs. So here is, I don't know if it's closed caption. Let's see. This is unavailable. Dang. Okay. I don't know why you guys can't hear this, but it's blowing my speakers up. I'm going to play it anyway, just so you can see the visual representation of what it looks like. Okay, so there's the... So everything is acidic except for Kangen. Even the sports drinks that professional athletes are supposed to be drinking is acidic. So now she's going to show that when you start drinking Kangen, it immediately turns it alkaline. But sports drinks are so acidic that you literally cannot, I've done an experiment and it'll take over a gallon of Kangen water to neutralize 1 bottle of soda. Okay, so this is a question we personally get a lot. I get it a lot. It asks about hydrogen, ERW. Why don't we hear more about it? Is there any science on the water? And these are all great questions. Short answer, yes. No to the scam, yes to the research. This is a website, crazy, yeah. This is something that if you want to talk to Nadia, she can actually send you a lot of these articles. It's called PubMed, and it's a scientific resource where articles and research is posted on this website. So you can pretty much type in electrolyzed reduced water and whatever, and there will probably be a study on it. So again, like if you want to talk to Nadia after the webinar for something, like a specific article, then we probably have it. So here are good places to start if you want to do your own research. Like I said, go to Nadia. PubMed is what I just showed you. And then NIH, those are all valid, legitimate research. And then the electrolyzed reduced water is actually the scientific term for Kangen water. So these are good things that you can also study, research on these websites. So quick info about the company. Enagic is approved by the Japanese Association of Preventive Medicine. And it's the only company in this industry to receive this honor. So there's no other machine out there like it, and there's no other company out there like it. In fact, doctors are using this in hospitals all over the world, and a lot of them are in the US as well. So this device is considered a medical device by the Japanese Ministry of Health, and it's the only water machine ionizer out there that has this. And it's currently used in 400 plus Japanese hospitals. And on top of that, I know quite a few places and naturopathic doctors here in the US that are also using this for their patients. This is Dr. Hiromi Shinya. He is in Japan. He is the man who discovered the endoscopy for the colonoscopy. And he talks about this in his book, The Enzyme Factor. But he uses his this water for his patients that are going through cancer or just gut issues in general. These are also good resources if you want to learn more about the water. These books. Yeah, if you go to Nadia, this is all information that we have saved. And there's tons of documentaries. So we can chat more about where to find research if you want to do your own. Here's a little more on the company. Why did we choose Enagic? I know for me, it was the medical device. It's the only one like it. It's global. The company has been around longer than any other company. It's the gold standard in water ionizer technology, and it's an industry leader. It's also, there's zero awareness right now. So it's something that a lot of people are still learning about. It's also a debt-free company, which is crazy because it's a billion-dollar company. So here's some awards that they've received. They've also received, I want to see if it's next. Yeah. So they've received numerous awards, and they also have these certifications, which again, it's the only ionizer on the market that has these certifications. It's the only one that has the medical device certification, and it's the only one for the quality and the environmental. It has the same certs as things like Boeing, Rolex, Rolls-Royce. It's the gold standard, like we said, and it also has certs for being in the Direct Selling Association. Let's go next. Okay, so like I said, this machine literally does over 100 different things. These are all of the types of waters. There's the strong alkaline water, which you can see, that's the pesticide removal. I don't know if you've seen Nadia's videos. It's cleaner, it's degreaser, it removes stains. Then you've got the drinking water, which is 8.5 to 9.5. Those are just the different levels of detox. You've got neutral water, which can be taken with medicine or made with baby formula. Beauty water, I know a lot of women and men who this is their favorite water. You can spray it on your face. It can be used as a toner. It can be used as a cleanser. You can wash your hair with it. Excuse me. You can also give it to your pets. Spray their coats. It makes them shiny. And you give it to your plants. And then last is the strong acidic water. It's hypochloric acid, which is a medical disinfectant. And the craziest, we'll get into this, but it's literally just water. And we have third-party studies on it being stronger than bleach. So let's break down the 11.5, which is the strong Kangen. This is the pesticide removal. This is the stain removal, degreaser. It can be a laundry detergent, a makeup remover. And okay, so why is this important, right? Think about how many pesticides we are absorbing. Oh man, let's go back. Sorry, didn't mean to. Think about all of the pesticides that we're absorbing and that are on produce. every single day. The toxins that are in cleaning chemicals, laundry detergent, all of those things, it all adds up eventually, right? We should have a video that shows, I don't know if we do actually, but this is basically on the left here, you can see that it's being soaked in 11.5. You can see it's the pesticides literally coming off, like the bright yellow. And I know doing this in person is like really insane. But then here in tap water, not only is it not going to take things off because pesticides are typically oil-based because they don't want them to wash off in the rain. So of course, regular tap water isn't going to get them off. And on top of that, you're basically letting it soak in all the chemicals that are in the tap water. Next, like I said, this is the beauty water. It's skincare. I know we have a lot of protocols with the water and the machines as far as acne, psoriasis, eczema, other skin issues people have. They use this water. And it can be like I wash my face with it every day. I spray it on my face every day. I spray it in my hair. Before I had the shower, I would wash my hair in it. Um, it can be good for makeup. Not sure if you wear makeup, Riley, but if you do. Um, and then it's also, this is the water for your plants. Um, this can be, like I said, used for pets. It helps with inflammation after shaving. I wash my glass the glass in my house with it. You can wash your mirrors, like 100 different things. And think of all of the money that you're saving because you're switching all of this out just for water. So kind of my personal favorite is the 2.5 because it's the medical grade disinfectant. And I use it every day. I have a hand sanitizer bottle in my gym bag that I use. I use it as mouthwash or I gargle with it. I rinse my toothbrush with it. You can clean with it. Um, there's been a couple times when I felt like I was getting a sore throat and I gargled with it and I literally got rid of it. Like just crazy stuff. And again, there's a third-party study on this um, that Nadia, I'm sure you have it, but if you don't, I'll send it to you. But it will show you, it shows this water killing things like Salmonella, E. coli, and some other viruses. And it compares it next to things like Germ-X, Clorox, bleach. So I literally use this is like my saving grace, especially for how much I'm working out, getting cuts on my skin. Like this is what I use. Like I said, um, this is the bottle that I have actually in my gym bag. So yeah, I mean, and again, think about all of the money that you're saving on things like soaps and Germ-X and like not only you're saving money, but you're also saving your body from absorbing all of that when you're putting it on your hands. So here, all the things we just talked about, and like I used to buy all this stuff. Like I used to use mouthwash like crazy. I used to drink bottled water. I know my parents used to use a lot of this stuff and they're cutting down because they have a machine. But it literally can replace all of this stuff. I clean my entire house with the 11.5, the 6.0, and the 2.5. Replacing plastic, replacing chemicals. So is the price breakdown. Scientific name, electrolytes reduced water. These are essentially holistic medical devices. So it's a full tax write-off. First, as we mentioned, shower. I don't know, Riley, if you want to take a picture of this or if you want me to break it down, but I will talk. So here's the K8. This is the one we mentioned, 49.80. you can finance the machine for $55 a month with no interest for 21 months. So basically, you're borrowing money and just paying it off when you can, which is what I did because I had just finished cancer and chemo. And it was, if I'm being honest, it was pretty scary for me because I didn't have a job or money coming in. I just knew that I needed it. And so that's the option that I did. This is their top model and it produces the strongest water. So this is the one that I just recommend because it's the one that I have and it's their most user-friendly model. And then the shower, of course. So there's different finance options. I think we'll go into that in a second. But I want to break down the cost of drinking water, right? Because we look at it and we're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. Yes, totally get that. I felt the same way. It was like, this seems like an investment. Here is the breakdown of what it costs us to drink bottled water. Not only, so 15 years, yeah, that's a lot of time. You're almost spending $100,000 on Fiji in a 15-year period. Here's the thing though, annually, you're spending almost 7,000, which that's even crazier to me. So in the end, you actually save money by getting a machine. Because like I said, you're not using all the chemicals, you're not using all the toxins. You get to replace a lot of that stuff with the machine. Not only that, you literally don't have to buy bottled water ever again. So here's just another savings breakdown. It's going to talk about healthcare, first aid, things like going to the hospital, stuff like that. Like I said, you end up saving a ton of money. And we have this too that we can send you as well. And okay, so here's the finance options. Number one, pay in full. If you have a good credit card or debit card, that's a good option. Number two would be the $55 a month, where if you have a good credit score, you can literally apply for a credit card and get no interest for 12 to 21 months, and you can just pay it off as you feel comfortable. Again, that's the option that I did because I didn't have any money or a job. It was scary. And then the third option is through the company. And if you want more info on this, we can send you exact numbers. We just need zip code and it'll tell us like literally what the payment would look like for you, which is pretty great. So it's a down payment through the company. Essentially, it's 900 to 1,300 down, depending on where you live. And then you make payments of 150 to 187 a month for anywhere from 6 to 24 months. So super flexible, super affordable. They definitely make it easier for people to invest in these things. And then not only that, but there's actually a referral business where you can literally say your mom wants to buy a machine because she's been drinking the water and it's so great. Your mom buys a machine and you actually get money back. And then if you just randomly refer to, I think it's about 10 machines, you get a free machine. So that's also an option. And then again, medical device, tax write-off, something to talk about with a CPA. So yeah, that's the magic of real, true, living water. And again, thanks for coming. I love talking about this just because of what it's done for me. And I feel very passionate about what it's done for me. And I know Nadia does too. So it's been fun to witness her and watch her grow through this process as well. But yeah, I think everyone is worthy of this and of this information, and it's just a matter of being open to it. So again, Riley, thanks for being open-minded and wanting to learn more, not only like for us, but for yourself. So yeah, I'm excited. It's awesome that you're interested. It's awesome that you want to learn. And I know Nadia can share a ton of information with you. So talk with her, what stuck out the most. And yeah, I'm excited to see where you go.